Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Matthew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Dragon Matrix 7, Eerie V23, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. I actually just finished recording the new Reader episode, so we'll have that up sometime soon. But today, our main focus is wrapping up our business in Dresden, which, according to my notes here, mostly just involves showing a variety of things and stuff to the Storyteller. That should advance a quest or two, get us a boatload of new lore info, and possibly even an item. I think we have enough components to build at least one relic, but we'll see. And then after that, our next story goal is to investigate the castle in the clouds. But I'm thinking we'll hold off on that for now, because we really need to let the campaign clock advance a bit. We've been traveling so efficiently that all of our kingdom events are just kind of sitting there. We haven't allowed enough time to pass to rescue those kidnapped kids, or expose the traitors in Chinook's letters, or build that village for our giantized soldiers. So yeah, we'll probably just poke around the map a bit, do some optional locations, pick a few fights. But first, this. Hey, Storyteller, I believe I found a few more of those pages you're looking for. The Storyteller carefully takes your find. Yes, you're right. Another piece of evidence from the past I had forgotten. The old elf's expression becomes withdrawn. Thank you. If you find any more, please let me know. Will do. I actually have several more, but apparently I have to give them to you one at a time, so paging the Storyteller. Oh, here we go. The Storyteller clenches the pages you brought. His voice becomes a bit younger and more energetic. My hand touches the stone wall. The cold pierces my palm like the teeth of a hungry dog sinking into a piece of meat. I don't take my hand away. I let the stone enjoy my warmth in return for its service. It accepts my caress and my unasked question. The one it's been asked thousands upon thousands of times. Where should I go next? Behind me, I hear the loud stomping of the minotaurs that guard this god's forsaken place. I tricked and outwitted them, leaving only a trace of my presence. There is darkness lurking up ahead, honing its swords, claws, and teeth, in the hopes that a rare traveler visits its lair. But today, it will get no one. This labyrinth is alive. Its red-veined stone walls resemble the guts of a huge creature. If you keep still and listen closely, you can hear it breathing in the wind that sweeps through this place. Where do I go from here? Forward, to the place whence the wind carried a faint chuckle, whence comes the faint smell of ash, whence a few ages ago Demon Lord Baphomet began his great escape. Wait, you're inside Baphomet's labyrinth? Yes, I am traveling through the Ivory Labyrinth. This is not the most pleasant of my journeys, but it is necessary to reach my goal. Surviving in the Ivory Labyrinth. That's quite a trick, old man. How'd you manage that? The Storyteller raises his chin proudly. Have you forgotten who you're speaking to? I am the last Archmage of Keonan. I have been to many dangerous places, and this is just one of the many. It won't be the last. Okay, so what do you need here? You said you had to come here for something, right? An answer to a question, a key to a secret, knowledge that can save many lives. A sliver of a smile appears on the storyteller's lips. My kinfolk were weaklings and cowards. They ran from danger. But one stood up to my enemy. And Baphomet will give me the weapon to win. You don't say. Please, continue. For several years, I have thought about how to defeat Earthfall. My enemy has no flesh, and is impossible to kill. It blazes through everything in its path. It doesn't enslave, but destroys life itself. And I have found the answer. I know how to save my world. Earthfall came to destroy Golarion. Its strike was brutal, and my world barely withstood it. But what if Earthfall was resisted by not one world, but several worlds at once? What if Heaven or Elysium came to help the dying Golarion? If I managed to merge my world with another one, meld them together, the power of the disaster will weaken. The denizens of Golarion will be able to temporarily take shelter in the adjacent plane. Civilizations will not die. Our culture will continue to exist. We will not be forgotten. Baphomet, the cunning and insidious lord of Minotaurs, was once captive in Asmodeus's prison, but only 10 years passed before Baphomet was able to escape, taking his own prison with him, which later became the Ivory Labyrinth. Such an achievement deserves respect, and it is the goal of my research. Moving matter between planes is what interests me now. I stop near strange symbols covering the wall of the labyrinth. I run my hand over them to ensure that they are real. Encrypted riddles drawn by Baphomet during his imprisonment. I take out the bark-covered notebook and painstakingly copy the symbols into it. Behind me, 2 minotaurs are fighting, deceived by the net of spells I have wrapped around myself, like a blanket. Wait, so you wanted to connect multiple planes together? I mean, I'm no expert, but isn't that what created the world wound? The elf is silent for a moment. When he talks, there is disdain in his voice. Dangerous, difficult, almost impossible. But tell me, is the risk not worth the Thassalon Empire perishing before my eyes? Does Golgon, the Cyclops Kingdom, deserve death? What about the Aboleth Empire? The storyteller moves his lips, silently. Another plane will pay for saving Golarion. There will be wars, and then a new world will come. But we will survive. We will defeat Earthfall. And history will not condemn the victors. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fair. Isn't that the notebook you destroyed? The storyteller lowers his head, but a moment later jerks it back up. Yes, blinded by my pride, I tore it to pieces when I thought I would not follow my kinsfolk. I am still not going to run, but the knowledge written in this notebook by my former mentor might serve my purpose. The elves managed to open a portal to Sovirian, and keep it open until all of our people had escaped from Golarion. Their cowardice deserves disdain, but their knowledge is unquestionable. I returned to Keonan and gathered the pieces of my torn notebook. Now it is my sword aimed at the heart of Earthfall. By combining the wisdom of elves and the cunning of Baphomet, I will save the world. Okay, and how'd that go for you? We're still here, so I assume... good? I copied the strange symbols into the notebook. I haven't the slightest idea what these scribbles mean. What was the future Demon Lord thinking when he wrote them, while he was imprisoned in a cell with no way out? Was he still in his right mind? I will need help to understand these notes, otherwise decrypting them might take more time than Pharasma has given me. One of the minotaurs behind me killed the other one, tore his heart out, and devoured it. His blood-stained nose sniffs the air sharply. His bloodshot eyes shift from wall to wall. He senses a stranger, but he doesn't scare me. I am certain of my powers and the spells hiding me. I've done my work, and now I can leave this place. And still, I linger. What is this strange presence I feel behind me? Like someone is watching me despite all the protective spells. Who are you? I ask carefully, not hoping for an answer. Darkness. A coy female voice whispers in my ear. Against my will, I shudder. The storyteller stops talking for a long while. The vision ended at the most interesting moment, didn't it? He says bitterly at last. Please find the rest of the pages from this bark-covered book. I must know what happened next. Okay. There is a lot to take away here. I'm going to have to spend some time mulling on it to really connect the dots, but just off the top of my head, the pages we're currently collecting, the book we're currently reconstructing, appears to be the same notebook that he got from his mentor, destroyed in a fit of anger, and then reconstructed for use in his research. So we're not only reconstructing his memory, we're also reconstructing the ritual that he was researching. I have to imagine that's going to come into play at some point. Although he may not be directly related to Arilu, there are a lot of parallels there. Both of them were apparently based out of Sarkarus. The Artisan's Tower was the storyteller's old tower, and at least some pages of his notebook found their way into the hands of Arilu and Discarian Baphomet's minions here in the World Wound. The one we took from that Vrock was one of the key pages of the storyteller's ritual to transfer energy between the planes, which all also links to those mysterious purple crystals, since we found traces of one in the storyteller's tower, and they just seem inexplicably linked to Discari's appearance in Canabris and just Arilu in general, though we've yet to really explore that. You know, I want to say the mysterious woman who approached the storyteller in Baphomet's labyrinth was Arilu, but that wouldn't make sense. She's only been around for a couple hundred years, and he's thousands of years old. While Arilu may have been inspired by fragments of the storyteller's research, I don't think they were directly related. But I wouldn't be surprised if the storyteller's research is later used to reverse engineer Arilu's ritual, allowing us to ultimately close the World Wound. And I guess that's it. We'll have to find more pages. Let's show him some other stuff. Of course. Let me touch them and I'll tell you what I can see. Now it is just a shard of the past, but I feel its power. The elf carefully strokes Turandalev's claw. Only a great power can resist the most terrifying of enemies, oneself. Please allow me to immerse myself in this memory and learn the story of the spiritual resurrection of the greatest of silver dragons. A fragment of a ring appears in the old man's hand. What a powerful item! This ring was created by an inquisitive and free mind. Such people either become geniuses and creators of a new era, or meet tragic ends. What was the fate of the creator of this object? We can find out together. Get me 4 vials of magic essence and 2 bars of cold iron, and I will reforge this ring. The old elf gently touches the crumpled metal of the gauntlets. I sense the souls of the 2 who were bound to this relic. One was an animal, the other a man, but neither was the master of the other. They were brothers, a most intriguing tale. Do you want to hear it? If you bring me 1 vial of magic essence, 4 bars of cold iron, and 2 vials of demon blood, I can revive this relic and see into its past. The storyteller carefully runs his fingers over the shabby boots. The scent of pain emanates from this object. The pain of a mortal and of the spirits close to them. Whatever the story behind this item, it is dark and tragic. Let us try to repair this relic to learn its tale, shall we? Bring me 3 vials of magic essence, 1 bar of cold iron, 2 vials of demon blood, and 2 hides of magical creatures, and I will try to restore this ancient item. The elf looks at you with unusual impatience. Shall we? Yes, I think we shall. Looks like we've got options for 2 of the relics. Not sure we can do both of them, but let's start with the basics. Alright, old man. Tell me about Turendelev. The storyteller hangs his head, looking sickly and tired. How many times has the moon died and been reborn since I've been here? I have lost count. My friends brought me here. They said goodbye to me, like always. But they looked at me like it was the last time they'd see me. Cowards, insidious spawn. They were glad I was going to die. But I'll show them. Turendelev will live. A new Turendelev, whose eyes are finally open. I hear the rustling of wings, and I emerge from the cave where I imprisoned myself. Who is it? A friend? An enemy? Sunbeams refract off his scales as he hovers before me, surrounded by a glowing halo. The gold dragon? Exsellsior. A part of me wants to fly to him and make a circle of honor around him, as any good student should. But the part of me that turned my scales black is ready to seize his gleaming throat. How dare he fly here, flaunting his purity and innocence? He wants to humiliate me? Drag me through the mud? But I will show him. No, what am I thinking? My mentor has come all this way to save me. I know. He would never abandon me. Someone called him to my aid. Moving heavily, I take flight to greet him. But my body, controlled by the foulness, straightens like an arrow. His vulnerable throat is so close. One strike, and I will destroy you, Exsellsior. So what happened next? Did Hal survive? I don't know. But I know the place where Turendelev was believed to have sought refuge for her tarnished soul. I saw Sarkorian ruins, a wide-branching tree next to them. Perhaps there will be something there that will shed some light on the fate of mentor and student. Something that can tell us how Turendelev's strength of spirit helped her to ultimately overcome the foulness within her. Anything else you can tell me? You know, we never did find her body. The storyteller frowns. It's so strange you should ask. We all know what happened to Turendelev, but sometimes it seems I hear her voice in the visions. Her voice full of pain and despair, as if she is in darkness which she cannot escape. I cannot solve the mystery of this vision, but it worries me. Yeah, that pretty much guarantees they've turned her into some kind of monster, undead or otherwise. Standard operating protocol for most evil overlords. Alright, well, thanks for that, storyteller. I guess that's something to look forward to. Moving on. The storyteller answers, bowing slightly. And thank you, Vex Godglove. Maybe we'll check that out while we're out and about. My guess is she did not kill Hal, because how would she have recovered otherwise? As for restoring one of these relics, I'm not sure we have enough parts for both, but I'm leaning towards the gauntlets. The teaser on that one specifically mentioned an animal companion, and that feels like it's more in keeping with our party's general theme. The metal in the elf's hand takes the shape of armor plates. The demon blood sizzles on them like a red-hot grill, and the essence is absorbed, leaving behind a grayish residue. This relic is called the Stern Hand. That was the name given to it by its owner, a Sarkorian witch hunter. The two gloves represent the bond between two beings. People who wear such relics do not live for themselves, but die for others. No story? Oh, right. Storyteller relics have the stories printed right in their description. And sadly, we don't have enough parts to do the ring as well, so we'll have to keep saving up for that one. But let's have a look at these gauntlets. The Stern Hand. And there's our story. Oh yeah, it's like 2-3 pages long. We'll just save that for later, I think. These spiked gauntlets grant the wearer's animal companion a +6 bonus to strength. But at the beginning of battle, the creature must pass a will savings throw DC 17 or start attacking party members. The creature can make an additional savings throw each round to stop this effect. Okay, well, man, that will DC is rough. Well, there might be ways around that. Let's check a few things real quick. If that's an untyped strength bonus, that could be a pretty big boon for Helpful or Zorm. Both of them are strength-based. Though, obviously, sadly, that wouldn't be much use for Kaz. Kaz is very thoroughly dex-based. Strength is almost completely useless to him. But Kaz does have the Bookworm's headband, which makes him immune to compulsion effects, and that makes me wonder if that attack your allies effect is considered compulsion. If it is, then that's an easy way to circumvent that penalty. Oh, right, I also picked up the skinned leather cloak between episodes. I don't think I ever mentioned that. That adds yet another debuff effect to Kaz's attacks. He partially skins foes with every strike, causing potential constitution bleed out. We did have to ditch the Cloak of Resistance for that, which leaves him with a pretty lowly will score. But that's why I paired it with the Bookworm's headband. If the Bookworm's headband actually does work with the Stern Hand, then it could make a decent fit for Zorm, the downside being that would penalize his intimidation ability, which we've kind of rebuilt him around at this point, so I mean, that's not ideal. We might be better off just waiting for Darren to gain his next revelation. Then we can have him pick the one that grants a sacred bonus on savings throws to his pet companion, equal to his charisma bonus. Between that and a decent cloak, I think that would bump Helpful over 17 on will saves. The downside being that that's like 2 or 3 levels from now. Wow, we have way more magic essence than I thought we did. So it's really the other stuff that's holding us back. Cold iron, demon blood, and the hides of magical creatures, which we have none of. I guess we used all that up. I guess we'll just have to keep an eye out. Wall diffs. The quartermaster smiles and lowers his voice. I've got a little something for you, Commander. Like a conjurer, Wilser produces a fairly large purse from somewhere under his shirt. The lads decided to chip in. You've been taking care of us, Commander, so we decided to take care of you. Please, take this gift. Get yourself a magic ring or a new helmet. We'll be very happy if you do. Well, sir, Well, this is a pleasant surprise. And you know what? As noble as it might be to just push this money back on him or dump it into our war chest, I really can't imagine Vex not accepting a gift like this. So, yes, thank you, Wilser. We will accept this. I will honor this gift by using it to purchase a magic trinket as you have suggested. It's from the bottom of our hearts, Commander. We all have hearts of gold. I appreciate it. Not, of course, that 5,000 gold's going to get us terribly far, but I did already have my eye on the other half of the pair. That amulet we pulled off of Devara. So, yeah, maybe we'll go pick that up before we head back out. In fact, I think it's all just bookkeeping and inventory management from here on out, so let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll get all this stuff taken care of. And we'll pick back up once I've figured out where we're headed from here. We'll be right back. And we're back. I actually forgot, we're still pretty beat down from those dragon fights, and Helpful is still half dead, so we could probably use a nap before we head back out.
Nanio, have you ever tested to see how many times you can change into a kitsune and back in an hour? What do you say we have ourselves a little experiment once we're back in Dresden?
That would be interesting. But this time you'll have to sit still and keep count. After my research into the consumption of rotten apples, some of the people tried to blame me for their coin purses going missing while they were watching the experiment.
That's cute. And it totally makes sense. I really wish we did have more party slots so we could actually travel with folks like Nenio. I do find her amusing, but we had to make choices, so here we are. Oh, Lan. Lan looks resolute and serious. Vex, we've got ourselves settled in here, so it's time to go back for the mongrels. If we don't do it, Sol will keep stalling until Iomade herself comes down to drag him out. You really think we have to go back and collect him? I mean, I feel like he said he'd catch up with us at some point. I mean, the mongrels might not have seen the light of heaven, but you still brought changes. How are they going to shut themselves off from the outside world when they literally have a hole in the ceiling? Sooner or later, they will have to come out. But if they leave their dungeons as crusaders who have fought alongside the commander, maybe the Uplanders will be quicker to accept them. Besides, you helped the young ones, saved them from the eternal curse or whatever that demon in Wenduog tried to cast on them. If they don't follow you now, I'm afraid another Savamalek might come along and try to take advantage of them again. Yeah, okay, I get that, but why bring this up now? Why not earlier? Lan hesitates. You know, I just had so much on my plate. First we were running around putting out fires in Canabris, then we were running away from the gargoyles, then we were running to save Dresden. So, you know, why don't we run to the caves now? I could ask the Queen to summon the mongrels as crusaders. Sol would like a real decree with a seal. But asking you is easier for me. Asking a queen about such a little thing is awkward. And you don't seem to have anything to do right now. You know, because managing a huge fortress is so easy. Well, I do get that. It is pretty easy. The place practically runs itself. But sure, yeah, I like Sol. And we could certainly use more fighters, so, why not? Lan smiles. Great. Call me when you're ready to go. I'll be waiting. Neat. So I guess we're getting into a new wave of companion quests. That's fun. But sadly for Lan, I already decided what we're doing today, and it's not that, so that will have to wait for another day. Halfway through our first relic project. Oh, and we finished studying the Sword of Valor. Nice. The researchers were divided on what exactly happened to the Sword of Valor. However, they did point out that the banner had belonged to Iomedae back in her mortal life, and that it had gained miraculous properties, as if anticipating the ascension of its owner to divinity. Could its current change be an indication of the commander's great future? Maybe? I mean, that's certainly an encouraging possibility. Still no real idea what this does, but I have been told it's important, so I guess we'll just keep an eye on it. We're barely halfway through the game, so there's still much we have yet to learn. Oh, right. And we have to initiate the second half of the relic project. That's the Crest of Melander Lynn. We have a few options here, but I already know we want a belt. That'll ultimately be going to Ember, another plus 2d6 damage on all of her fire spells. Along with some other general stuff I don't remember. Logistics reform. Is that the rank up project? Oh yeah, looks like. Very nice. Though we should look at what else we have available first. Oh my goodness, we still have so many projects we need to get going. Which is honestly a big part of why we need to just go spend the next couple of episodes just popping out on short expeditions, advancing the clock, knocking out optional locations, gathering loot, and getting this stuff done. Plus Lancing, of course, that'll be like a whole episode. So I figured the next 4 or 5 episodes, go out, hit a location or 3, then return back to Dresden to knock out whatever events queued up during that time. Let's get this one going. We need to bulk up that marksman unit. Oh, and crusading. Right, we had Agaboya's crew poised just before that undead horde. Yeah, it might be a bit close, but let's, I think we can handle that. Okay, we need to knock out both of their crossbow units first. Otherwise, they'll pick off our marksmen. That's one. Hey. And that's 2. And you know what? We'll just expedite this. Plenty of time to regen spell points on the way back to Winter Sun. Having relieved the last undead from their curse, the clerics discovered an artifact emanating vile energy that had been attracting the living dead to this place. After carefully sealing their find with protective spells, the clerics brought it to the commander. Which nets us another relic item, the Phylactery of Stevanius the Rotten, former apprentice of our old buddy Zacharias. I'm familiar with that item because I dabbled with it with my Lich runs. Though none of those ever made it past Act 3. I kept starting over to try different builds and story decisions. Such is the curse of a game like this one. And we'll hold off on recruiting for now. I'll take care of that between episodes. Okay, and we are finally ready to head out. I wasn't expecting the land thing, but that's fine. That sets us up for a future episode when we're ready to have a land party. I need to redo his levels again. Yeah, today I'm thinking we'll set our sights instead on chasing yet another dragon tail. We'll start exploring the map south of Winter Sun, starting with Tarendalev's lair, which is right here. And then as an added bonus, that'll also put us in the area of some other potentially intriguing locations, like the Sarkorian mines that What's-His-Face wanted us to check out, as well as the Heart of Mystery, though I'm not sure if we actually have the puzzle pieces for that one. We'll also have Agaboya's crew down there, clearing the place out, knocking out armies, and toppling fortresses. I mean, ultimately, we do want to check out the Ivory Sanctum. That's the next major story event. But, yeah, we need to let the Crusade catch up a bit. We have to advance the clock, knock out those events, bulk up our armies, and set up a few more teleportals. That'll make things a whole lot easier once we are ready to start advancing the main story again. Right. The logistics thing. So that's queued up for us back in Dresden. A problem with 9 lives. The quartermasters brought cats to Dresden so that they would keep the stores safe from rats. Smaller demons have learned to assume the form of a cat, to sneak into the city and wreak havoc. The soldiers are ready to start hunting cats, but the quartermasters are against it. As well they should be. Okay, so what are our options here? To execute the soldiers who want to kill our cats? Officially induct the cats into service. I do like that. Ooh, or ask the cult of Bastet to help. Which would unlock a separate project for +1 energy income per day. We're still pretty early in the campaign. I mean, that would pay for itself before the end of Act 3. Also, having cat priests hanging around would be pretty awesome. I didn't even realize that Egyptian gods existed in Avestan. I feel cheated now. I would have totally made Vex a follower of Bast. Sociol, remembering the cult of Bastet, poorly known in Avestan, sent a few letters to Osirion. Priestesses of the goddess of cats are willing to identify the demons, and remain to care for the cats. Their knowledge of divine rituals will prove useful to the Crusade. I wholeheartedly approve. Of everything except not having Bast as an option during character creation. That I will never approve of. There's our project for that phylactery we just grabbed. Oh, right, I should have kept the slot free so we could finish up the current relic project. That's fine. We're going to be out and about for at least a month, so plenty of time. Oh, right, and we had a logistics slot to fill. Sorry, one sec. Yeah, let's get the giant village going. We'll get all the projects that boost our income finished. So where were we? Oh yes, Agaboya's crew. We need to bring them up towards Winter Sun. There's a couple of forts just after Tarendalev's lair, so we'll need Agaboya to clear those for us, if we want the party to keep exploring. Hey, a fight. Yes, please. I would like at least 2 fights per episode, if at all possible. Pretty basic. Nothing to worry about, but that bow is worth $2,000. Let's stomp these guys. Oh, look at that. Bank Rank Assistance. Kaz opportunityed the Nabasu and tripped him, and then Waljif immediately back rank assisted with an axe and paralyzed it on the ground. That is fantastic. I can see us having a lot of fun with that amulet. We'll need to get combat reflexes on Waljif.
Retreat is not an option.
Oh, hi there. It was certainly kind of that second stringer to bring another magic bow to the party. Kaz, stop taking a nap. We're still fighting. Hey, 72 damage crit. Not too shabby. I mean, relatively speaking, I know. I know people can completely break this game and get thousands of damage, but it's never really been me, you know?
I will resist.
Maybe I'm just weird. I do find myself often aiming for these quirky but mildly effective builds, as opposed to the stuff I know is well and truly broken.
Missed me already.
Anyway, looks like we're done here. No real challenge, a couple of flesh wounds. 4,000 gold for the coffers. Not bad for 5 minutes work. Moving on. Oh, shoot. Okay. Is it the fabled Skelebro? No. This is definitely not the skeletal merchant. What is this? One sec. Let's get buffs up. And we are back once more, fully buffed and ready to go. I still have no idea what this is, but I guess we're about to find out. They're clearly channeling us into something. Hello? The cultist smiles sweetly at you. Through that giant goat mask, I guess. Well, well, what have we here? The freshly minted commander, straight from Dresden. Here's what's going to happen, Commander. You will give us Specimen 367. We will bring it back to Eyes to Master Bladesmith, and no one will get hurt. If you refuse, well, prepare to die. Bladesmith, is it? Then I know who you creeps are. You're from the same lot that slaughtered my party, then tortured me for some dark experiments. Commander, just give the order. I'll wipe the floor with them. I have an old score to settle. I'm sorry, could we take a step back real quick? Specimen what now? 3 something? Yes, the specimen, the sentient weapon that was taken from us. A cheap ploy by the Crusaders. Don't try to deny it. We know you have it. A sentient weapon? This is huge. If you really have one, Commander, keep it for yourself. Those lowlives don't deserve it. Yeah, thanks, Finn. I will keep that in mind. So you guys work for this bladesmith, huh? What's his deal? He's a great artisan and a teacher who renounced his name and passed to serve the weaponsmith's craft. His demonic blades never break, his magic arrows never miss their mark. His creations are incredible, although the piece you have in your possession is still far from perfect. It was not supposed to fall into the hands of outsiders, so we want it back. Yeah, I don't really see that happening, but it is adorable that you keep talking like you can actually do something about it. But hey, by all means, I've got it right here. If you want it, come and get it. Very well, then we'll take this specimen ourselves. Let's show these scumbags what's what, Commander. To battle! You poor guys. Aw, look at that. We've got archers ambushing us. That's cute. Hey, Conjurer survived. Good for her.
Kneel before me.
Nope, my mistake. Looks like she's pretty dead. Y'all should probably start quivering about now.
Prepare yourself.
This is sad.
Cover me, all right?
And we're done. Next time, send minions who actually have names. They might actually survive more than one round. Hey, look at that. Some actual halfway decent sales fodder. But what we're not seeing here is any sort of missive or letter from the bladesmith. I really would have expected a lore item. Let's scan the area just to make sure we're not missing anything. No, looks pretty clear. Oh, but what we can do is talk to Finian. Want to chat? I'm always up for a chinwag. Well, you know, we did just run into a bunch of people who said they worked for the Bladesmith. They seem to know you. Any thoughts on that? Finian's tone is grim. I do indeed. He was the one who tortured me. I don't know what specimens they wanted from you. Maybe they thought I had stolen something from them? Wait, I just remembered something. His voice turns hopeful. That bladesmith's workshop was just outside Eyes, right by the walls. If, Gorham willing, we are ever in those parts, I'll beat the hell out of that scumbag for all he did to me. Ha! Finding those cultists was a stroke of luck. I'm ready to leap into battle right now. Just say the word. It's like I can feel this newfound strength. When you go to Eyes, make sure to bring me along. Will do, Finian. I don't think that's going to be a problem. In fact, I'm pretty sure I couldn't put you down even if I wanted to. Right, so clearing the Dragon Quest has indeed queued up a new batch of companion quests. That's fun. Plus, I believe Finian actually just got a boost, as implied by his dialogue. Oh yeah, look at that. He is now a +3 Brilliant Energy Heartseeker weapon, which makes him exceptionally deadly versus living creatures, but completely useless against undead and constructs. He'll pass harmlessly through such creatures. I'll have to figure out what to do with that. I mean, ideally, we'll have a character we can slap him on as a primary weapon, who also has a decent backup weapon they can swap to, if and when we run into foes that Finian can't hurt. Maybe a Ruchelet? At any rate, I feel like this is a good place to call it. We're pushing the hour mark, so we'll just have to save Terendalev's lair for next time round. I really thought we'd have time for it today, but I also wasn't expecting that powwow with Lan or this thing with Finian, which is fine. I mean, this is all stuff we need to do anyway. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll do some maneuvering out on the world map, get our party closer to Terendalev's lair so we can definitely jump into it next time, move some of our legions around, take care of the recruiting, and we'll pick up here next time. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official websites. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon or the new YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
That would be interesting.